Grandpa's false teeth go for a walk. Every night, after a mug of warm milk and a chapter of his mystery novel, Grandpa would do his nightly ritual. He'd yawn a gigantic yawn, pop his false teeth out of his mouth, and plop them into a special glass of fizzy, blue water on his bedside table. "Good night, Chompers," he'd say, and then he'd snore so loudly the pictures on the wall would rattle. His 8-year-old granddaughter, Lily, thought it was the most fascinating thing in the world. "Why do they have to go for a swim, Grandpa?" she'd ask. "To keep them sharp, my dear," Grandpa would wink. "A good set of gnashers needs its beauty sleep just like us." But what Grandpa and Lily didn't know was that the moment the snoring began, the teeth in the glass would come to life. They were restless. They were bored of listening to Old Man snores all night. They wanted adventure. "I'm tired of dreaming about mashed potatoes and oatmeal," the teeth chattered one night. "Let's go for a walk." And so, with a gentle clink, they climbed out of the glass, slid down the leg of the table, which was a bit tricky without knees, and marched right out the cat flap into the moonlit garden. Their first stop was the vegetable patch. The teeth had always been curious about carrots. Grandpa always boiled them until they were soft and sad. But these carrots were fresh from the earth. Crunch! The teeth sank into a giant orange carrot with a sound so satisfying it made the nearby worms jump. "Now that's what I call a proper bite," the teeth mumbled, their porcelain surfaces gleaming. They tried a radish, too spicy, and a pea pod, too much work. Next, they tiptoed, or rather, tooth-tiptoed, past the sleeping dog, Buster, who was dreaming of chasing squirrels. They clacked with laughter as they saw his own teeth chattering in his sleep. "Amateur," they whispered. Their great adventure led them to the old oak tree. A family of squirrels was having a midnight party, cracking open acorns with furious energy. Crick, crack, pop! The teeth felt a jolt of professional jealousy. "Pah! Acorns!" they clattered. "Watch this!" They found the biggest, toughest acorn in the pile and, chomp, sliced it cleanly in half with one elegant bite. The squirrels stared, their tiny jaws dropped. Then they cheered. They hailed the teeth as the acorn king and offered them the best seat in the house, a little knot in the tree. The teeth held court, cracking open acorn after acorn for their new furry friends, feeling more useful than they had in years. Meanwhile, back in the house, Grandpa woke up for a glass of water. He reached for his teeth to take a sip and... "Gasp! They're gone, Lily. The gnashers have been tooth-napped." A great search began. Grandpa looked under the bed. Lily looked in the slippers. They even checked the cookie jar, just in case. But Chompers were nowhere to be found. It was Lily, with her sharp young eyes, who spotted the clues. She saw a tiny, perfect bite mark on a carrot in the garden. she saw a neatly split acorn cap by the oak tree. "Grandpa," she said, her voice full of wonder, "I don't think they were tooth-napped. I think they've run away to join the circus." Just then they heard a faint, rhythmic, clacking sound. They followed the noise to the base of the old oak tree, and there they were. Grandpa's teeth, surrounded by a circle of admiring squirrels, were performing their greatest trick yet, cracking 3 acorns at the same time. Crunch, crack, pop! Grandpa and Lily watched from behind a bush, their hands over their mouths to stop from giggling. "Well, I'll be," Grandpa whispered, his real gums smiling a wrinkly smile. "They're having the time of their life." He didn't get angry. He just stepped out and gave a slow clap. "Bravo! Encore!" The teeth froze mid-chomp. The squirrels scattered. The teeth suddenly looked very shy and a little guilty, sitting there in the dirt. Grandpa walked over and picked them up gently. "I see you've been practicing," he said, not unkindly. "That was some impressive crunching." Back in the bathroom, Grandpa gave Chompers a thorough brushing, washing away all the bits of acorn and carrot. "You silly things," he murmured. "You just needed a bit of fun, didn't you?" He popped them back into their glass of blue water. But that night he didn't put them on the bedside table. He carried them to the kitchen. Lily watched, curious. Grandpa opened the fridge and took out a big, green, crispy apple. He placed it on the table right next to the teeth's glass. "There," he said to them with a wink, "a little midnight snack for all that hard work. But no more wandering off, you hear? You gave me and Lily quite a scare." And from that night on, a funny thing happened. Grandpa's teeth never went for a walk again. But every morning, the apple on the kitchen table would have one single, giant, perfect bite taken out of it. And Grandpa would just smile his gummy smile, pour himself a cup of tea, and say, "That must have been one hungry tooth fairy." Lily would giggle, and she'd always remember the night she helped solve the great mystery of Grandpa's walking teeth.